year that will come online is in fiscal year 17 with, and just round figures, about $32 million in aid, and then an additional about $4 million in levy on that. QComp, we've had a lot of schools that have been wanting to get into QComp. That is the alternative teacher pay system that is being used by schools who are in it, really to help with professional development and those important activities for our teachers and professional staff. An additional $9.5 million. It's my understanding that all of the schools currently on the waiting list for QComp will be able to get into the program under this money, and maybe a couple of more in addition to that. Again, that also comes online in fiscal year 17. Indian Education Formula Aid. Governor Dayton, one of his initiatives was to reform the Success for the Futures grants, which was a grant program for our Native American students in our Minnesota schools. And schools had to apply for that, and not all schools got it in the grant process. So that is being converted to a formula aid program, and with an additional $3,177,000 put into that. A $4 million increase in concurrent enrollment. Again, this is the College in the Schools program. $3.5 million increase in Minnesota Reading Corps. About $2.5 million, and I'm giving you round figures here, for extended time support revenue for the districts, and a little over $2 million of that support for the charter schools. Our Faribault Technology Initiative, again, our schools in Faribault, our schools for the deaf and the blind, needed some equipment, and so we are funding their request to make sure that those children have the equipment that they need. And a few other items here. I think I've mentioned most of the highlights. I wanted to just also mention a few of the bills that many of our members have sponsored and were incorporated into the conference committee final agreement. Representative Dabney had wanted to make sure that we ensured that there was some language that the extended support revenue would cover spring break academies, and that there was an amendment he offered in committee, certainly very sensible, and so we incorporated that. Representative Pinto, directory information, an important provision, I know, to several school districts, and so that was incorporated. Representative Runbeck has worked hard on her literacy, dyslexia definition, and that. Homeless reporting, the incidence of